It's good. Back with another lesson. Anyway, I know I'm wearing the black shirt again, and it looks like my video is slowing down again on y'all. So what I might do is turn it off for the rest of the lesson. Maybe, maybe not. I'll just leave it on. Whatever. If it looks kind of janky, who cares? As long as y'all get this lesson, as long as y'all can understand what I'm doing, and hopefully it's good for you. So again, back again, teaching y'all about anatomy. Actually, I'm doing this 10 minutes after the last one. I just took a break to give me some milk. Anyways, so anatomy, human anatomy. Today, our lesson is going to be on the leg. Because y'all like talking about legs. Let's do the hand. We're going to do the hand today. All right, let's do the hand. All right, so let me show y'all how to draw a hand. First off, let's break down the muscle structure of the hand. Now, I want you to look at mine, okay? Look at my hand. I, Mr. Trutman, love to draw. I try to draw hands more. This is one of the things I kind of don't like to draw a lot. I say I love to, but I don't. They're cool if you can get them right, but hands can be tricky. Hands are super tricky. And the biggest thing you want to try to do is just you never want to try to draw all the details first. Never worry about details, y'all. I promise you, don't worry about details yet. If you're a beginner especially, please don't think about details. Anytime you look at something, you want to look at it and look at the shapes in it. See if you can look at it as a bunch of shapes. When I look at fingers, they look like cylinders to me. Or you can break them down into a rectangle. When I look at the hand, the palm of the hand kind of feels like a rectangle, alright? Rectangle. Then I look at the thumb. Look at what's happening here. The thumb is actually this part here too. So I want y'all to keep in mind, this is a bunch of muscle here in order to help you grab stuff. This thumb is meant for you to grab things with. So the thumb allows you to help grab stuff. And there's a bunch of muscle here so that you can have power enough in your thumb to be able to pick things up and lift stuff and grab stuff with a tight fist. Okay? So there's muscle here going over the big bone that connects to the rest of the thumb. Alright, so there's a bone from here to here. Bone here to here, bone here to here. Okay, so let's draw that out real quick. I'm gonna show y'all what I mean. And even look at this. This isn't a perfect rectangle. Alright, but you can kind of get the idea. I tend to curve this. Alright, so y'all can follow me. Let's do that. Remember, I'm gonna start off with 3 colors. I'm gonna start off with my orange. Alright. No man, orange. Cool. So I got my orange, and I'm gonna make this into like this rectangular shape, alright? So this is gonna be the base of my hand, alright? You always wanna start off with something that's a shape. And then what you're doing is you're gonna take this shape and kinda turn it into your hand as you go, little by little. Alright, so first off, let's do our thumb. Remember, there's this big chunk of meat right here, right? Big chunk of meat. So I like to turn this into a rectangle, right? Or a square, and I put that right there. And then my thumb has 2 other pieces, right? So I'll do something like this, right? And then I'll do another one like this. That's gonna be my thumb. Alright? Now I'm gonna do my index finger. Index finger is gonna be here. There that goes. And then your middle finger is always a little longer than every other finger. It's the longest one. So we're gonna make that one a little bit longer. Alright? Then your ring finger, second longest finger. And then your pinky, which is the shortest. And you see, part of the reason why your pinky is the shortest is because it's falling on the bottom of that slope here. You got me? And so that's what makes it the shortest one. Now, look at my hand. My wrist is right here. So I'm gonna add this here. Got me? Now I want y'all to see how my hand is kind of separated. Look at the shape that it's making. You see what my finger is doing? Right, it's making like this curved line. So I want you to remember that, because that's gonna be important to make it kind of more detailed later on. So let me break down these muscles real quick, which are not crazy, okay? The muscle thing is not the craziest thing. Here, we have muscles that go into it like this. We got a big chunk right here. We got a chunk of muscle here, right? This is going to be for that gripping part, okay? It helps with the gripping part. And there's muscles in here that connect to the rest of the bones in the inside here, all right? So I don't think there's nothing in here. And these guys stretch up and across, all right? Little patches of muscle stretch up and across into this, all right? Cool. And now we got a big jumbled piece of muscle, big thick piece of muscle right here, and it attaches, like I said, with tendons. Every muscle has tendons that attach to different parts of the body, okay? And at the edges, those tendons pull the muscle and they stretch and basically are glued to the bones. So then those muscles have other muscles connect other muscles connect to the rest of the bones in here, all right? And they go into the hand like that. Same thing here. You got muscles that attach to the bones to make sure that they move at the joints, okay? So don't think that there's no muscles here. You got muscles all in your hand. You got muscles all over your body. You even got muscles in your head, and I'm gonna show y'all that in another video. Okay, so we got all these muscles and they're attached. Ooh, really gross stuff, right? And then we have the muscles that attach at the wrist, okay, so that the wrist can do all this movement and stuff, right? So that's what that's there for, to pull the wrist back and forth so we can actually have movement, all right? So now let's get to the nitty gritty. I'm gonna get our darkest value, and remember, if you don't have a crayon, follow me like you did with the pens, with the arm. We're gonna erase the insides, okay? But other than that, we're gonna trace around it. And we're gonna start here. I want y'all to remember this part. We're gonna start here. Notice that the palm of my hand kind of curves because there's a bone there. I want you to curve that gray, that purple around it, and I want it to curve, slightly curve around the side of this. Cause that muscle, you got me? I'll slightly curve around that. Then we're gonna go up. All right. Gonna go in here and we're gonna curve around this, okay? Remember, webbing, because we have webs in between our fingers, right? We're gonna go up. What you doing, player? Computer was tripping out, y'all. Curve around it, all right? Web, Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna curve around this one, right? Web. All right, go back into this. Now we're gonna curve around this one. Now watch what's happening. Look at how my hand is gonna come down and it's gonna web out. It's gonna web into the bottom part where your thumb is. And we're gonna have our thumb come around like this, okay? Because our thumb goes up and you see how it curves? Yeah, that's what you want. We're gonna come down. Now watch this. Y'all see that part? Remember that curve here? Watch this. I'm gonna curve this down and we're gonna go up. It's gonna follow that muscle and it's gonna curve like that. See that? That's right, it's beautiful. It's pretty beautiful, okay? Alright, and then you come in and that's your hand. Okay, your wrist, little wrist bones that connect for your forearm. That one bone and the two bones, they kind of spin around and come here. That's what you feel right there, the bottom of those forearm, the two forearm bones in your arm. Okay, and that's when you get your whole hand. Cool. And what you can do is, you see where this lump is? See where it's kind of the shading for my hand is kind of going from a darker value to a lighter value? You can add you a little line there, and one right here too. And if you want, I always draw one going across my hand like this. Okay. Now for my people that are struggling with the colors and everything, go ahead and inside clean it up. Everything that's not purple, everything that's not one of your darker, thicker lines on the outside edges, try not to touch that. Clean this up. Okay. Remember, it's not about the muscles. The muscle structure part, I'm just teaching you the science. The real thing I want you to focus on when you draw is shapes. Everything, you start off breaking it down into shapes. Step 1 and step 3 are the most important steps in this. You look at your shapes, make sure you understand how to break this down into pieces. Look at the hand. Don't look at the finger as one big rectangle or cylinder. Look at it as pieces, all right, in sections. And then you start putting this together like Legos. Okay, you gotta build this stuff. You start off with one piece, and you finish up with a wall. You got me? And you build it little by little as you go, and it's gonna turn into what you need it to turn into. The more you study how to break it down into shapes and what shapes make sense for those spots. These fingers look like cylinders or rectangles. Draw them like little rectangles and cylinders. It's gonna come out looking like it. All right. And there you go. You got your hand. I hope this was informative for y'all. I hope this was something that was interesting. Like I said, practice hands, y'all. If you really want to get, man, practice hands. If you're that one kid that loves hands, you're amazing. Mr. Trutman prefers feet. I actually like drawing feet. It's kind of weird. Feet are pretty dope because they're easy, and hands are difficult. But the more you practice hands, the better. I mean, man, if you practice hands and eventually you're my age, you're 33, you're still drawing, you're going to be amazing. And eventually you'll start looking at the hands and stuff. Look at different parts of the body. Look at its shapes. Look at that. See that? And then your fingers and stuff can go out like this. But then you can break it down into little shapes and stuff. Like, I know my thumb is right here, right? And you see that? And I'm using the shapes to help guide where my stuff is going, y'all. And you can end up doing some cool stuff if you just pay attention to where the shapes are. And you see how that's starting to turn into everything I need it to turn into? It's starting to turn into what I need. You know? And eventually you'll get what you need, you know what I'm saying? Just play around with the shapes. Try to get the shapes the way you want them to go. And eventually you'll start getting, that looks ugly. But you'll start getting what you want. And you'll get closer and closer to making exactly what you need, okay? Because that looks like a hand. It's starting to look like a hand already. Alright, anyways. Hope this was an intriguing lesson. I hope it taught you something. And I hope you enjoy the rest of these lessons for this week. The next lesson will be on the leg. So stay tuned. And be ready to draw again. Keep pushing. Keep trying to draw this stuff. And if I were you and you are into art, you want to get better at drawing, draw a page of these and just put your hand in different positions. Look at it and draw. Okay, and fill up a whole page full of nothing but hands. Do it for like 2 pages. Matter of fact, if you really want to be a really dope person at drawing hands, draw a whole sketchbook full of them. Don't do anything else in the sketchbook but nothing but hands. And fill up the whole page with little hands. Got me? Big hands. You know, oh, that's ugly. Big hands. You know, small hands. You know what I mean? Different sizes. Put them in everywhere you can find a gap in between each of your sketches, and fill up the whole sketchbook with drawings. And I promise you, by the time you're finished, you're gonna feel like you're gonna start looking back. You're gonna put that sketchbook away, and 2 months later, you're gonna go back and look at it, and you'll be like, man, I was so garbage at the beginning of this sketchbook, but by the end of the sketchbook, I could see how I grew. So again, yeah, I'm done. Mr. Trutman, I'm out. See you on the next lesson. Peace.